Hey everybody, it's RRPG here. It's April 5th, 2018, and welcome to RRPG Side Quests. A third time this week, I talk about something Dragon Quest related. And this one is going to make you even more happier to pick up Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age on the PlayStation 4 or on Steam when it releases on September 4th, 2018 for the Western Territories. Now, if any of you were wondering if Dragon Quest XI was going to have any downloadable content or any microtransactions in place, well, I got good news for you guys. There's none. Yeah. Dragon Quest XI is DLC and microtransactions free, or free from those two things. And this was an executive decision by not only Yuji Horii, but also by Square Enix themselves. They wanted to go back to the roots of making a game a full single experience. So if you were wanting to know whether or not if Dragon Quest XI was going to have DLC or any microtransactions, well, fear not, guys, because that's not going to happen. And for me, personally, that just only adds more of a reason for me to actually pick up the game when it comes out on September 4th of this year. And man, I wish that September 4th would get here much sooner, so that way I can play that game to my heart's content, because from what I've been hearing, the game is pretty top of its class, and definitely one of the games that, you know, a lot of JRPGs, aside from Ni no Kuni 2, needs to take a look at in terms of its great production values and great game design. Now, I did get the interview from Yuji Horii as it was posted on Siliconera with how the game doesn't have DLC or microtransactions for Dragon Quest XI, but how much but on the flip side, how much Yuji Horii likes the evolution of video games taking place at the same time. So let's go ahead and read off the interview with what he said. Anyway, here's the article from Siliconera. It's pretty rare to see major video games have no DLC or microtransactions these days, and one big title that didn't have any whatsoever from Japan is Dragon Quest XI. Series creator Yuji Horii explained why in an interview with US Gamer. Okay, so the news source is actually from US Gamer, but anyway, here are the couple snippets from the interview. During the interview, Yuji Horii explained that it's basically because of nostalgia that Dragon Quest XI doesn't have any DLC or microtransactions. Okay, so they're basically going back to the roots of the games back in the past where DLC and microtransactions weren't a thing or weren't mainstream or were not a thing during those times. So I definitely give Yuji Horii and his team over at Armor Project major props for that. But anyway, here's his quote. Dragon Quest XI is a very big game that took a lot of money to develop, so we looked into a lot of different ways of making money back on it. But in the end, there's that return to the roots of the series idea. We thought in this current climate of all these games having microtransactions, we really wanted to go back to the idea of having one game you buy. And that's it. While adding no microtransactions in Dragon Quest XI was a decision that he and his team at Armor Project and Square Enix decided, he's still enthusiastic about the evolution of video games and has recently enjoyed titles such as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and more recently Monster Hunter World. And here's more from Yuji Horii on video games today. The evolution of hardware is just amazing. The fact that we have come to the stage where we can do open world games is just amazing. When I was working on Dragon Quest I, we originally had such a small limited area for the whole world, a small space to explore, but now I just work with the images in my head. My vision can go straight down on the screen, and that is amazing. And of course, Dragon Quest XI is available in Japan for the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo 3DS, and the game will arrive in North America and Europe on September 4th, 2018, for both the PlayStation 4 and PC via Steam. The Nintendo Switch version, however, will release at a later date. But yes, you know, hearing the news about Dragon Quest XI, why it doesn't have DLC, is pretty much just a breath of fresh air for all of us who really don't enjoy DLC that much. Now, me personally, I don't necessarily hate DLC, but I enjoy DLC unless if it's done right. And I think I emphasized this in my previous video where I talked about the Noctis DLC in Tekken 7, where if DLC is made from scratch and not within the development firsthand of the full bulk of the main game, then that's DLC done right, if they, you know, develop it post-launch of a game. Now, for Dragon Quest XI not having any DLC or microtransactions, as it was basically nostalgia with how developing a game as a single, just complete experience, is what really made me really enjoy where Yuji Horii is coming from. I mean, when you take a look at video games today, it really makes you just wish that game developers would just go back to the bare minimum basics of just developing games and not get, you know, infatuated with all these ideas that they can try to create new pieces of content and then try to sell it for you at a, you know, at a price to where they can try to make more money off of us. Because for me personally, game development these days, it's like 70 to 80% of all games that are out there are hardly full experiences alone. I mean, most of the full experiences that you get for video games, you'll mostly find on the Nintendo side of things, but slowly but surely, their games have started to become, you know, not complete as well. But of course, they mostly are near complete experiences, while there are some areas that are very complete, but like I said, they're just hardly full experiences anymore based on what they're doing with DLC in their games nowadays. Now, granted, some of the DLC can be beneficial and completely optional, and most of the DLC that they give away is free, while there are some that they still have to charge you for it, but at the same time, when you look at a game like Dragon Quest XI, where how it goes back to its roots with how Yuji Horii and his team developed the first game on the NES Famicom, and using those experiences from back then to develop a fully packaged single game for, you know, this generation of consoles, whether it be PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, or PC, that's a really big accomplishment. And I really applaud Yuji Horii and those at Armor Project for their decision on this. And, you know, I know we give a lot of crap to Square, but at least this was a decision that they stuck with Armor Project on. And that right there, I'm really proud of them for it. Now, let's just hope that Octopath Traveler on the Nintendo Switch will actually, you know, undergo the same philosophy with where Dragon Quest XI went with having no DLC or microtransactions. Because if Octopath Traveler did the same thing, then, yeah, it's not gonna make anybody very excited about it. And I know that they didn't do that for Bravely Default or Bravely Second with how they were mostly complete experiences on their own. So if they want to continue having complete experiences, then they need to go by that business philosophy. They really shouldn't squander on just creating games with the most prettiest visuals and sacrifice content because of it. So, yeah, Dragon Quest XI, like I said, it's going to be released on September 4th, 2018, so if you're looking for a full single experience where there's no DLC or microtransactions involved, then Dragon Quest XI is going to be your pickup game. And I really hope that when this game comes out, and if it actually does well in terms of reviews and sales, then hopefully that game should paint a picture to not only Western developers, but also developers over in Japan to not take DLC, or not take for granted in putting out just DLC and microtransactions, or any of those crap at all, that they need to go back to their roots of making full, complete packages, because downloadable content and microtransactions, or basically turning your games into a games as a service model, that needs to go. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. I mean, I would say that it's only necessary unless if it's for games that you really enjoy, or a franchise that you really enjoy, where you're willing to go that extra mile and spend for, you know, extra money for that content. But if you're not really into that, then just by all means, just don't do that. Just play the game as is, and you know, you can judge for yourself based on watching YouTube videos or videos shared on Facebook through like the PlayStation app, or even through Xbox, or even the Nintendo Switch, how you can share those on social media and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can let yourself be judging that from right there. Just so you guys know, there was no comment left in the previous video where I talked about Noctis Lucis Kylum in Tekken 7 and how his inclusion came about. As Christian Lopez, he also commented on that video, but I usually don't try to aim with showing a commenter's comment like 2 times in a row, as I'll want to try to separate in between. But yeah, if you guys, like I said, if you have any questions, or if you have any feedback towards this video, or any thoughts you want to deliver on any of the videos that are posted for the specific ones that you see, then by all means, leave them in the comments, and also be sure to rate the video down there while you're at it. And in that way, so when you put your comments in the comment section, or your questions in the comment section, I will definitely highlight that comment in the next video and have your channel featured in the description. And also, if you like what you see, then be sure to hit that subscribe button underneath this video, and also the video notification bell right next to the subscribe button, as you'll be notified when my videos will go up live. And hitting that subscribe button next to the video notification bell will mean that more content is coming from me in the future that you guys are not going to find anywhere else. So until next time, guys, this is Double RPG signing off by saying Godspeed and game on, gamers. Peace out!